the whole state is just so poorly managed.
Joe Rogan will talk to anybody, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I did talk radio for 25 years, and I spoke with everyone from Stephen Hawking to a guy on death row. No, it's the words Rogan chooses that shows you who he really is.
Yeah, we were just talking about the wildfire situation and how crazy it is that they spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And you're out of your fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
Well, it's the same team that was up in San Francisco. And they came down to L.A. and they're doing what they did in San Francisco. And
yeah.
San Francisco's kind of like apocalyptic now,
Yeah.
I went there and it's just like people, homeless. It's a mess.
All right, let's clear up that bullshit. California didn't spend $24 billion last year on homeless. They spent it over 5 years, and that's still a lot. But we're not talking about high-speed trains or trips for public officials. We're talking about 200,000 human beings, a large percentage of which are veterans, which these f***ers always talk about so reverently until they come home with PTSD and kill themselves. Plus, the homeless are frequently mentally ill, and there's women and children living on the streets, and the money goes to housing and rental assistance, physical and mental health outreach, case management, and funds to purchase motels and other types of temporary housing. I'd love to ask Joe Rogan, how would you do that, man? How would you put him in prison? Would you kill him? Get him jobs at Starbucks? You have an answer, Joe? What about you, sugar tits? Joe Rogan is a racist anti-Semite who, like Trump, tapped into this undercurrent of hate and bigotry. Rogan's hosted a number of shitheads, including the Proud Boys, former Breitbart editor Milo Yiannopoulos, and Alex Jones. We'll get to him in a minute. Rogan said that Jews like money like Italians like pizza, and there's a video of him using the N-word 25 times over 12 years. And during COVID, he urged young people to not get vaccinated and floated a number of debunked conspiracy theories, including claims that COVID-19 alters your genes, or getting vaccinated after COVID-19 places you at a greater risk of side effects, and that the vaccine carries greater risks to health than the disease itself, none of which are true. And Mel Gibson? Him, I don't have enough time. But alas, when it comes to butt-ass ignorance, these cockwaffles ain't alone.
This is just absolutely devastating. You can't get your arms around what's happening out there. But then when people start questioning, how does this happen? How did we get here? It's then called politicizing the event, when actually what we're trying to understand is how on earth can this happen? How do we not have enough water?
Well, that's what I would like to know.
How do we not have enough equipment?
Do we know that how this happened?
I don't think we do. And to ask the question now makes it political. And it's not. I think all of us are trying to wrestle and understand how on earth, in a city like Los Angeles, with all the infrastructure that they're supposed to have, does this happen?
All right, that's just laziness. I mean, this is a major network. Don't they have fact checkers? Everything I'm about to tell you was on the record. How did this happen? This was an unprecedented fire, fueled by 8 months of no rain and up to 100-mile-an-hour winds. And the reservoirs and water tanks, they were at normal levels and completely full before the fire. And all 114 city water supply tanks were fully stocked pre-fire. A 15-hour surge at 4 times normal demand reduced the water pressure, and high demand at lower elevations slowed refilling tanks at higher elevations.
According to the water department, isn't the lack of water, but getting it where it needs to go.
And as we speak, water's being brought in continuously.
In 2022, the department also donated surplus fire department supplies to Ukraine. So here you have the fire department of LA donating their fire materials to Ukraine.
And fire equipment sent to Ukraine? Yeah. The LA County Fire Department said in March of 2022 it would gather and donate surplus equipment and gear to help those first responders in Ukraine. Those items are like hoses, nozzles, turnouts, helmets, body armor, and other associated personal protective equipment. No one in the LA Fire Department has claimed that they were missing resources in fighting this fire.
Have we ruled out all outside agitators?
No, in fact, I think there were videos of some arsonists creating new fires. So, no, I don't think that's been ruled out at all. And given the terror attacks that we saw on January 1st, I mean, it's certainly not outside the realm of possibility that that's happening.
Jesus Christ, could this have been a terror attack? I guess. But that kind of speculation with zero evidence is like Trump calling COVID the Chinese flu and redneck Trumpers started beating up Asian Americans.
This is just absolutely devastating.
But it's not just Fox spreading conspiracies. Elon Musk, you know that guy? Yeah, he deleted a tweet agreeing with Alex Jones that the LA fires are part of a globalist plot to trigger a U.S. collapse.
Just a few hours ago, Elon Musk responded to a post from the first half hour of my show today where I laid out the basic evidence that the Democratic Party, with their policies, are 100% responsible consciously for the historic fire destroying much of Los Angeles in the last 48 hours.
And what do they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Mel, he's not too bright, and he's a little racist anti-Semite like Rogan. And every time he speaks, it's like looking inside the soul of a turd. But Mel and Joe, if California employed people to make the forest safe, what would that look like? And how much would that cost? California has 33 million acres of forest, which is 1/3 of the state's total land area. But 57% of the forest is owned by the federal government. So California doesn't even have the right to rake the forest.
We won't give him money to put out all his fires.
So what would the cost be? The cost to clear every acre, which would be a never-ending project since, it grows all the time. It's estimated to be close to $1,000 billion a year. For you, Joe and Mel, that's $1 trillion. But I have a question for everybody seeking an answer.
And nobody is stronger in nuclear than I am. It's the biggest single problem that this world has. Not global warming. Obama said the biggest problem we have is global warming. And by the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming.
The Palisades fire is still the largest burning north of Santa Monica and Pacific Palisades. And there's the deadly Eaton fire in Altadena. And rounding out the list, the Hearst and Lydia fires.
Okay, take a look at the current size of the fires tonight. At last check, the Palisades fire is close to 16,000 acres. The Eden fire is now more than 10,000 acres. The Hearst fire is approaching 1,000 acres. The Lydia fire is less than 500 acres. And it's the only fire with some containment at 40% tonight.
If I told you that carbon trapped in our atmosphere is heating the planet, a conclusion from 97% of the scientists on the planet, and that thermal expansion is causing oceans to rise and the poles to break apart, and that meteorologists say that warmer weather creates more and more powerful wildfires, would you listen? Or have you already wrapped your lips around this?
Disgusting.
Goddamn right.
Use my words against me and you'd be absolutely right.
That is crazy.
They're eating the dogs.
You're an idiot!
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.